to and hopefully watching Dan and Phil.
One BBC Radio 1.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
It is a Monday night at 9 p.m. You are listening to Dan and Phil on Radio 1's Internet Takeover for the last time. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
We could have prepared a sound effect for that.
I know.
It's just a complete mess.
I might cry on the desk and break
Hundreds
it.
of sound effects. Yep, in case you haven't heard, me and Phil are going on a hiatus from the radio whilst we go on a tour around the USA, and we are dragging the Internet Takeover down with us in a sea of flames. But do not fret, because your Monday nights are in safe hands, as it is going to be replaced by the Student Radio Playlist Show, which is all about playing mixes showcasing the best of what's happening around the country.
Yes.
In student radio, which is a great idea, so do not weep. But tonight, we are going to do a little show reminiscing on some of our best bits over the years.
Our favourite moments. There's a lot of things to watch, so make sure you get to bbc.co.uk/Radio 1, where you will see that Dan has had his head grafted onto the body of a lizard.
Is it everything you like? It's gotten to the point where the things you say are so extreme that they're not even remotely true.
I want people on the website.
But how is that going to convince anyone to do it? It's obviously a lie. Look, Phil, since 2012, we've been telling people to go watch the shows on the Radio 1 website. Like, either they're going to, or they're in a car, and they just have no interest. So, you know what? If you don't want to watch it, that's fine. Whatever. We tried.
It's a boy that cried wolf situation, though, isn't it? Because when you do get your head grafted onto a lizard, no one's going to come watch.
No one will believe you.
Yeah.
So we are going to kick off this show looking back on literally the first song that we played on the radio with our own choice, which was kind of an audition in a way.
Yeah.
In 2013, we were given the reins of the request show, but because obviously we need to try really hard to do everything new, we said, hey, let's make it a music video request show where people send in requests by making their own music videos. And to do that, we said we'd prove it by making our own video to Muse.
Yeah, so this was like our own audition. We had no sleep. We filmed this music video in one night. It's about dogs, it's about James Bond, and it's set to Muse. It's really weird.
It's worth noting, this is what apparently convinced the bosses of Radio 1 to give us a job, which is really distressing.
Yeah,
but you can judge it for yourselves.
So watch this on the website. Here is Muse Supremacy. choose supremacy with our 007 themed video. Do you know, I think I suit an eye patch.
You suit an eye patch?
Yeah.
What, might you just self-inflict something and wear it?
Maybe. And you could be the next 007. Do you reckon you could do it?
Yeah, everyone can imagine Dan rolling out of the way of an explosion, can't they?
You'd roll into it.
I'd be like, oh, God, I can't be bothered to move. I'll just die right now. That 2013 show was so unnecessarily mad. Why did we try so hard to do many crazy things that people didn't care about?
I don't know. I think I cried blood at one point.
And because it was the Crest show, we had live callers, which was just mad, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I can't believe that in the whole time we did that show, only one person swore live on the radio.
They swore when they were gargling. I remember that much. They were doing a gargling challenge and then they swore on the radio. I was like, oops, sorry, Kirsty didn't mean to say that.
They actually swore twice because they swore when they realised they'd swore and were about to apologise.
She said duck. She said duck, I promise.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, that is what happened.
We did make her gargle singing, so that was quite harrowing.
Yeah.
Now, we've prepared a little something, and I don't know why we're doing this to ourselves. We thought it would be funny to reflect on how far we've come by looking back on literally the first live link we ever did on radio.
Oh, no.
Now, it was kind of quite horrific.
It was horrifying.
We had no idea what we were doing. We had about 3 days of radio experience. We were in this studio that looked like a battleship. It was absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
The camera in the room that was filming us had just fallen off its tripod about
fell off the
5
tripod.
seconds before, and we literally just finished talking to Jamila Jamil,
And she wouldn't leave the room, would she? We were like, Jamila, we're about to start. This is our first ever radio show. She's like, it's going to be fine, boys. I'm going to tell you about the radio. We were like, oh, no.
No. So it'll be interesting to see how much of this fear made it into our eyes. Shall we have a look at our first ever live link on the radio?
Let's have a look.
Maybe, Phil, should we tell the audience a bit more about who we are and why we're here?
Yeah, there are a few tweets saying, who are you?
I can imagine.
In that voice.
So then, amazing Phil, who are you and why are you so amazing?
My voice. What's up with that? Origin story, but not that exciting.
Phil, origins. The boy in one bedroom, and that's all that happens. There's a camera and a laptop somewhere.
You sound like you're on helium. It all started when
I do.
Video blogging.
Puberty happened since then.
Lonely Girl 15.
Phil is like the dinosaur of the internet, by the way.
I was the first one. And
did anybody care about our YouTube origin story?
I don't know.
Definitely not.
Notice me, okay?
Did she ever notice you?
No, but I did start making my own videos to try and get with the swing of it. She never noticed me.
She never acknowledged you. Phil, you have a fringe gap. I just wanted to point this out to you.
I do now as well.
So she broke your heart and made you never trust anyone ever again.
I may as well have just fallen in love with Lara Croft.
Oh dear. Well, my name, Dan, is not on fire, but a lot of people say... Don't mind me. Like, no, when I was 13 on my MySpace account, I was just a really random person. Did I just admit to being random and having MySpace?
Oh, no.
I'm about to start crying.
My face is falling off.
It's one of those email addresses. How everyone's secretly called Sugar Bunny 96 and
yeah, my first one was Snow Dude.
So I just was stuck with the name Dan is not on fire. And here I am.
And then we've been making YouTube videos ever since, video blogs, sketches, stuff like that. And somehow Radio 1 have been like, hey, have a show.
We've been on the radio a couple of times, haven't we?
Wow.
A mistake, if I ever have heard one. That was just absolutely tragic.
Yep. And now we're going to continue the cringe attack as we have a video that we made back then to Nicki Minaj Starships.
Can we give them a bit of an explanation?
I think we should play it and then give some context.
We were really desperate for the BBC's approval back in the day, so we got a call from the chart show who said, hey, Nicki Minaj Starships just started, charting, but it doesn't have a music video. Dan and Phil, you have nothing better to do with your time. Make a music video.
Yeah, so we were still in Manchester and we made this train wreck of a video that should not be on the internet, but it is.
Just appreciate that we're actually showing this for you. I think I'm about to snap my neck from the cringe attack that I'm about to have.
Here's Nicki Minaj with Starships.
youtube.com/Radio 1 now to watch the Dan and Phil show on Radio 1.
I actually have abs from cringing now. That hurts so much.
That was the sound of regret
Yeah.
going out across the nation's airwaves.
And it's on the internet forever, Dan.
I might, after we've done with this show, just log into someone's account on the Radio 1 YouTube channel and delete that. I might have to be wrestled to
Delete
stop
it
that
forever.
from happening. Now, one thing that was with us on our radio show from the very beginning was Internet News, which was a feature that we actually borrowed from a little web series we did, but we felt like it needed to be on the radio.
It did.
It was a service that wasn't being provided to hear all these weird and strange news stories that no one else has reported on, like what are all the cats doing?
Yeah.
How's robotics coming along?
Or what face is in a strange item of food this week?
What is there somebody pooping in a bucket in a gaming cafe? Just all the things the world needs to hear.
Who knows? So now, our final time with the 3D glasses. It's over to Dan and Phil in the news studio.
This is the Internet News.
Internet News.
Our first story today is about the hot new tourist attraction of the summer here in Britain. What do you think it is, Phil?
Pterodactyl World. That was the first thing that came to my head.
No, but kind of close.
Oh, really?
Kind of. I mean, I don't. It's the National Poo Museum.
Wow.
That's what you were thinking.
Sign me up.
That is right. It is a museum exhibition that is all about studying different kinds of rare animal poo, including everything from elks to lions, or even fossilized poos dating back 100 million years.
Wow.
Maybe literally pterodactyls.
If you ever go camping, you could track some beasts. That might be fun.
You could indeed. It could have a practical application.
Yeah.
It is going to be in the Isle of Wight, so if you can't get all the way down there, don't cry because you can't see the poo, because apparently it's going on tour later this year.
Hey, maybe we could combine our tour with the poo tour. Yeah?
That's a great idea.
Business idea?
The amazing poo is not in a museum.
Okay, maybe not.
That's a sellout right there.
Internet news! Van drivers in Essex have had a lovely surprise after a mystery artist started drawing wonderful pieces of art on their vehicles. The artist, known only as Mr. Conducia, is believed to have drawn on 10 vans in the Essex area so far.
And to be clear to anyone listening that can't see pictures, this is just fingers through dirt.
They look incredible.
He's really I saw this and I was like, oh, okay, this is gonna. Damn, that's actually amazing.
Like, how?
He's sacrificing his cleanliness to just be an artist, which is impressive.
He's believed to be 22 and spends about 5 minutes on each piece of art.
I love that he's so mysterious.
If anyone sat
Known
next to
only
you-
as Mr. Conducia, and yet he is 22 and spends 5 minutes on each piece of art.
If anyone sat next to you right now, look at their fingers and see if they're all
A mysteriously
grubby.
grubby finger. He's either up to something really weird, or he's this artist down in Essex.
Then you'll know. Hey, maybe it's Vincent van Gogh. Eh?
That's
Yeah?
disgusting
No?
and unacceptable. Next one.
Internet news.
Hey Phil.
What?
A horse walks into a bar.
And what happens? What does the barman say?
No, literally, a horse walked into a bar in Sydney, Australia.
What?
Yeah, photos were caught of a police on a horse mount just walking into a bar because he wanted to speak with the person that owned the establishment. Why didn't he just get off the horse?
I mean,
if you owned a bar and you were having a drink, imagine if you were sat there and you'd be having a rough day and you were just, sat and you were like, okay, I need some shots or whatever. Horse walks in, you'd be like, oh,
horse.
God, no.
I mean-
Have I had that many already?
Sometimes you just really want a drink, don't you? I mean, you're like, I'm on my horse.
I can't wait
don't
to
have
get
time
off.
to go. Also, I've
Oh,
been on a
really?
horse. It is very hard to dismount.
Maybe he was just stuck. It was a cry for help.
Yeah. Or maybe you just didn't want to get a parking ticket.
Asking the real questions here.
Internet news! And finally, we love seeing famous faces in everyday objects.
It's what I live for.
We've had Abraham Lincoln in a chicken nugget. We've had John Lennon on a gatepost and Beyonce on a broom.
That's my fave.
There's a new one now. Elvis in a fire. Have a look at
Check
this.
this out.
That is
Uncanny.
That is terrifying.
Elvis is clearly trapped in hell and is trying to send everybody a cry for help.
I think so. He's back. Elvis is back and he's in the flames.
That was found by Stu Webb from Derbyshire, who found that and decided to share it with the world. Thank you very much.
That's the best one yet.
Well, there we go.
And that
Hope is real.
was the internet news.
We're going to start crying in a minute, so let's just leave while we're still professional. Back to Dan and Phil in the studio.
The Internet News.
Those guys are weird. I don't think anyone's going to miss them.
Now, something we did on our old show was open the floodgates to the internet. We didn't just make music videos together. We let the internet collaborate with us.
As a community
on a
of
music
people
video
that watched the show, we banded together to make incredible music videos with hundreds of people.
That was sometimes a mistake. We got some pretty weird stuff in that inbox.
Sometimes. Oh, I mean, yeah, if you think the videos we made are weird, you don't want to see what we sent that didn't get made into it. Like, oh, wow.
We saw some guy doing something unusual with the banana, but I won't say what. It was very strange.
The truth is so less bad than anything you just implied by saying that. Why didn't you think that through?
I don't know why I didn't
What actually happened is... wow.
Yeah.
Let's move on quickly.
Moving on. One of my favourite videos that we made with you guys, the listeners, was a video that collaborated everything that is the essence of this show. I wanted to choose a really left field song, and I didn't know if we'd be allowed to play it, but it got through.
We just did that all the time.
You probably all know the words. So here is the Pokemon theme on Radio 1. On Radio 1. You are very welcome for that song choice.
So, among the plethora of features...
Plethora?
That's a good word.
As if you just said plethora.
That's a strong, meaty... If I played that in Scrabble, the people you'd be playing with would be like, nerd.
Yeah, don't want to play anymore.
XO isn't a word. I hate playing with you.
Yeah.
So, one of those included Fan Wars, which was
Fan Wars.
Thanks, Phil.
You're welcome.
Back in the day, to pit fans of various bands and artists against each other live on the radio for the right to request their artist's song.
Yeah, they had to play various games. We had gargling. We had a noise treasure hunt, which I invented, where they had to run all over the house and find different noises.
That was really dangerous.
That was so
Sometimes
dangerous.
we were like, where's the toilet? Downstairs! Okay. Are you still alive, Sophie? Yeah.
And this was the scariest part for me, because I was in charge of the phone callers, so I had to choose who we had, and then I spoke to them, had to make sure they don't swear, and they don't choke on the water that they're about to gargle with. But we have a fun little reminder of some of our favourite Fan Wars moments, so here it is now. We're going to speak to Kira now.
Maybe their house will collapse or something, we hope that.
Kira, you have 54 seconds to beat. How do you feel?
Pumped, excited.
Pumped and excited.
Good.
Great.
Are you ready?
Sound confident. Okay. 3, 2, 1, go. Turn on a tap. I want to hear the water pouring.
Oop.
Oh.
Kitchen sounds.
Are you going to the tap?
Put the tap on.
I can hear that.
Oh, I can hear
it's
rustling.
running.
Okay, next sound, next sound.
Okay, next sound. I want you to get a family member to squawk like an eagle.
No other bird will do. Whoa!
That's a whole...
It's a flock of eagles.
It's a flock of eagles.
It's a platoon of eagles. Okay.
Okay. Now, I would like you to go into the kitchen and drop 3 spoons on the floor. I want to hear each impact of each spoon.
That's so specific.
1, 2, 3.
Slam.
Stop.
Okay.
Hope you didn't damage your kitchen floor with those
I'm a
spoons.
violent person, it's okay.
It sounded like you were throwing them as hard as you could.
You haven't hurt your kitchen floor, have you?
No.
Maybe.
Maybe, but that's not what's important. It's important that you win
Okay,
Fan Wars.
so
Okay.
what's the time for Kira, Dan?
I can reveal that the time for Kira representing Macklemore in this week's Fan Wars is 41.5 seconds, meaning that this week Macklemore wins Fan Wars.
Congratulations, Kira! Totally destroyed that kitchen, didn't you?
You heard the danger right there. We were
know.
asking people to vandalise their own homes.
Just to get a song on the radio. That's how much dedication they had.
It was some good times, even if it was emotionally harrowing for us.
Yeah, definitely.
And then there was Dan versus Phil, where we
Dan
decided...
versus Phil.
Do you really?
I'm just going to do that for everything we talk about now.
This can be your side career of Radio 1.
I'm going to be the new X Factor voice.
In September. Dan versus Phil was where we attempt physically degrading challenge on air over 2 songs back to back.
Yeah, it was probably some of the most embarrassing things I've ever done, and millions of people were watching.
Every single
the best way.
Sunday. We have put together a little montage of some of our most embarrassing / hilarious moments, so if you're not watching on the website, you're going to miss out on some grade A cringe right now. That's proper good. So here is, to accompany it, I think a very appropriate song, MCR.
My Chemical Romance, I am not okay, and I definitely wasn't after those incidents.
Dan and Phil on BBC Radio 1.
So you know how Bake Off has creme de la creme?
Yeah, the posh version.
Well,
it's worse.
The creme de la creme of Dan versus Phil's was definitely the sleeping bag caterpillar challenge.
That was a fantastic way of introducing that.
Basically, we had to climb into sleeping bags and race each other across the floor without using our hands. If you want to ruin your life, try that with a friend.
It was, to this day, the lowest moment of my career.
So,
physically and metaphorically.
If you've got a lowest moment of your career, the best thing to do is to relive it and react to it. So I've got a clip of it here.
I thought this was supposed to be a best of, Phil. It's just a cringe compilation.
Let's have a watch of this clip and see how we got on. Okay, here we go. I'm getting into the sleeping bag. Oh no, I look like I'm about to escape. I'm a butterfly about to emerge.
We were literally desperately crawling across the floor of the Radio 1 green room.
So many carpet burns.
People were just walking in with whatever was on the bottom of their shoes.
Lady Gaga's cheesecake on the floor, just writhing through it.
Getting your face all over the crumbs.
Yeah. Oh, here you go, Dan, as well.
This was just so embarrassing. Oh my God, I can't believe we actually did this live on the radio.
Oh, it hurts so much.
Because who needs dignity for any reason, right? It's the Dan and Phil way.
That's the Sleeping Bag Caterpillar Challenge. Try it at home.
That's on YouTube if you want to search it. Most of the Dan vs. Phils we've ever done still are to this day, which is just horrific. But thankfully, they weren't all embarrassing challenges, as some of them were quite creative, including the finale we did, which was to make music videos against each other.
Yes.
It was a competition, and Phil won because he put on a jacket and made himself look like Jack Skellington and played Fall Out Boy. It's called pandering to the crowd.
Are you feeling a bit bitter, Dan, about that?
It's
just
fine.
a little bit.
I'm over it, but here is the artistic masterpiece, which was my most spectacular video of all time, One Direction, with That's What Makes You Beautiful.
Direction, That's What Makes You Beautiful, with so many selfies, including kind of fetus Zoe and Tyler Oakley. They looked so young, didn't they? With their dirty
Did you
faces.
just say that and then regret using the F word?
Fetus.
I think you did.
Slightly. Anyway, part of our job as internet losers involved being thrust into the world of celebrities and having to make videos with them, which is always a strange clash.
Dan and Phil, go to this event, just make some videos with some celebrities.
Go meet Taylor Swift.
Oh, God.
I had a Sharpie in my hand when I gave her a hug. I actually hugged Taylor Swift, thank you, Radio 1. And I almost drew on her probably £1 million dress at the same time.
You almost Sharpieing Taylor? That was one of my personal highlights.
That was a good highlight.
What's one of your highlights?
One of my highlights was rubbing Liam Payne's head when he just got it shaved.
Never mind fetus YouTubers. You got to stroke fetus Liam's stubbly head when he shaved his hair.
Like a prickly hedgehog. Anyway, we have a little montage of some of our favourite celebrity moments. So here it is. Featuring no less than Snoop Dogg, Taylor Swift, 1D and Fall Out Boy. This is a little version of Dan and Phil versus celebrities. Nice to meet you, Snoop Dogg. Hey, how you doing?
Oh, really? Good pick. No worries.
So I just shook hands with Snoop Dogg. If anyone wasn't watching on the website, you missed out on that one.
That was Snoop Dogg taking some photos of flowers.
And us. You just took some photos of us.
You're like a beautiful flower, Phil.
Oh, thanks, Dan. We're now joined by Taylor Swift.
Hello.
If anything could happen between now and this time next year, what would it be? Anything in the world?
Well, okay, so we have 5 shows at the O2 in February. I'd really like for them to go really well.
Yeah,
brilliant.
What's the thing you would least like to happen between now and this time next year?
Just utter chaos, destruction, and everyone hating me.
The world ending.
Yeah.
Bad as well.
That would be terrible.
One Direction. Who do you think Harry has drawn?
Himself.
Well, yeah.
Himself.
I think it's
average.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yay! Okay, Zane, let's have a look at yours. Oh, who's that?
Niall.
Louis?
That's no.
No. What does it say?
Zane.
I love
me.
Zane.
We are here with Fall Out Boy.
Hello.
Or half of Fall Out Boy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Patrick,
0.5.
how are you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
Very good. And Pete?
I'm great.
Now, everyone on Twitter is asking me, before we start the interview, I have to tell them what you guys smell like. So
They
can I
have
just take a bit of a sniff?
asking that.
I would say they smell like manly flowers.
Oh, Phil!
Everyone was asking me to sniff Pete Wentz, so I had to do it.
If the internet asks you to
For the
sniff
internet.
Pete Wentz, that's not something you have to oblige.
I know.
Have we learned anything by now?
No.
But it wasn't all harrowing, was it? We had some good times, and we even had a music video made of some of the good times that we had at Radio 1's big weekend.
Oh, yeah.
That was put together. This made your mum cry.
My mum cried
We
watching
played
this
this on
video.
the radio, and Phil got a text saying,
I'm
I cried watching that Bruno Mars montage.
Sorry, Mum. So if you're not on bbc.co.uk/Radio 1, come and watch this video and you can cry like my mum with nostalgia for Big Weekend.
Here is Bruno Mars with Locked Out of Heaven.
Locked Out of Heaven with us at Big Weekend.
Are you crying like your mum did, Phil?
I've got a little teary man building up in my eye.
Good memories.
Memories. Another memory is also Reading Festival.
That was a big one for us.
We did some similar things, but the most terrifying thing that we had to do was introduce Imagine Dragons on stage. No pressure there.
We were kind of excited because we were like, oh, cool, we get to introduce I grew up in Reading, so I was just like hyperventilating the whole time I was there working.
Yeah. However, I've never used a microphone before on a stage like that, so I didn't know that you just use your normal voice. So I was screaming into this microphone.
The concept of microphones was a bit lost on Phil.
It was lost on me.
He came out and basically tried to be loud enough to hear himself over 60,000 people in the Radio 1 tent.
Yeah, so here is me screaming and introducing Imagine Dragons with Dan.
Just so you know, this is one of the worst memories of my life. Here we go.
Hello! We are Dan and Phil from Radio 1. You're looking particularly moist today.
I said the M-word.
Sorry, okay. Now everyone, close your eyes and picture A flaming mythical beast.
Beast?
Yeah. It's now time for Imagine Dragons. Go mental!
Oh,
shouting so much.
My God. I mean, how do you feel about that?
I'm proud of young Phil. I'm like, go on. That's brave to go and stand.
Close your eyes and picture a flaming mythical beast.
Probably scared them all off.
The thought was there.
That was no crowd warm-up, was it?
So yeah, there we go. That was quite traumatizing. Thankfully, though, the weekend was saved as 15-year-old Dan's wildest dreams came true. We got to be in a music video with Fall Out Boy.
We actually lip-synced with Fall Out Boy for another montage. This from Reading Festival. Here is My Songs Know What You Did in the Dark. Boy, My Songs Know What You Did in the Dark.
Now, another feature that we put on the radio, turning a much-beloved internet game, is something that you created, Phil.
I gave birth to this game on the internet. So many people have played it now. I'm quite happy about it.
Would you like to explain the concept?
Basically, you have to do whatever the other person says in 7 seconds. It's a very simple game.
It is called...
The 7-second challenge.
Boom.
Boom.
And what we're playing for is the right to play a strange song that we usually probably wouldn't be allowed to play on Radio 1.
Yeah, and this is like the season finale of the 7-second challenge.
Because this is a season.
Yeah, we've been level pegging.
Do you reckon? I mean, one of us probably... There was like a 4-month period where I didn't win in a row.
Well, this is it. This is all or nothing, glory or your face in the gutter. Which is a thing that no one says.
The well-known saying,
it's
glory
happening.
or your face in the gutter. Which one of us should go first?
I don't know.
You can go first, because you made it.
All right, okay.
Why did you agree to that?
I don't know.
What is wrong with you? Right, Phil.
Yes.
Your challenge is to change the colour of the lights in the studio. Go!
I can do this. I know how this works.
Does he? Is he going to press...
is now green.
Okay, okay, okay. Very well done.
I did it with like 3 seconds to spare.
Oh, wow. No one likes a boaster, Phil.
Green's quite intense, isn't it?
That's a really disgusting colour.
Yeah.
Green is my least favourite colour.
Let's get back to the business, Dan.
Just putting that out there. I'm ready.
Make up a... Oh, I need my ding. Well, give me a ding. There we go.
You can't ding
don't
yourself.
Miss out. I'd ding myself if you don't ding me. Right. Next one is make up a rap about Radio 1.
No. Radio 1, it's really great. The best thing about it is that I do it with my mate. Words.
What? That was annoyingly good.
I mean, I slapped you on the shoulder while saying the word mate. That's really
yeah,
horrifying. I'm sorry. I feel like I appropriated something by
I'm
saying
going to give you a ding anyway.
Give me that ding, Phil.
There you go.
There we go. Sweet.
Right.
You ready for the next one?
No, but I'm going to try my best.
This is like a Dan Howell friendship test.
Okay.
I'm putting...
Oh, no. Go on.
Phil, name 3 Kanye albums. Go.
The Life of Pablo.
Yep.
Oh my god, my mind's gone blank.
Kanye.
My Dark, Beautiful, Twisted Fantasy. And... Oh, I don't know. That's too hard.
Phil.
Oh.
I think this is the end...
That's it.
Of our friendship. Oh, right, the 7 seconds.
No, I want you to do mine, though. Say 5 things you would never put in your mouth. Go.
Quick. Your hand, the microphone, my own face, my grandma's foot, my phone.
What? You would have failed that as well.
I got that in. I got my phone in time.
Oh, okay.
You were going to ask me that live on the radio? You're playing a dangerous game, Phil Lester.
Right.
I feel
lose.
like it's only right that I won. It's like a rite of passage, and now
mess.
I get to play the best song of all time on the radio.
For the last
People
time.
say, hey, Dan, didn't you run this joke into the ground? Didn't it stop getting funny sometime in 2014? No, it gets funnier. It's like something that gets better. It's like a fine wine.
A fine
that's
cheese.
green and lives in a swamp. You are blessed. Star.
Again.
Smash mouth. Because I won the 7-second challenge.
Well done.
Dan and Phil on BBC Radio 1.
So there we go.
That's it.
For our little pre-hiatus show. We hope you've enjoyed reflecting on some of our best bits. It was just a cringe compilation.
It was a compilation of cringe.
There's plenty of things we've done that are like really impressive, but for some reason we just decided to share these things.
Yeah.
Maybe you feel a bit better about yourself having laughed at us for a
Maybe.
solid hour live on the radio.
But I have loved every moment of it, really.
Don't fear that we'll be gone, because you can enjoy that student radio show whilst we're on a bus in America crying because there's no Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
I mean,
thank you.
That's going to be what we're doing.
It's going to be what we're doing. Thank you, everyone who has listened to the Internet Takeover. And now it is time for the single most played song that we've ever had on the show.
I actually think this is the song we've played the most.
It's like the anthem of us on Radio 1, isn't it?
It's very symbolic. Phil, do you want to give us an example of how to do that intro?
Oh, you can't maybe do
just
the
one
Britney
last
voice.
time.
Okay, here we go.
You can do it.
Baby, can't you see? That sounded like her, right? You do it. You try it.
Oh, stop.
Baby,
stop.
can't you see?
We cannot leave quickly enough. I'm sorry, everybody. We have been Dan and Phil, and to close out, here is Britney Spears with Toxic on BBC Radio 1.
Bye.
Goodbye.